worried about losing that game. What we're trying to do here is we're coming out to not get stomped. So we're going to give them a battle. Texas is not where they were 5-10 years ago. They're not necessarily a team we can beat, but we can give them a game. We can put a scare in them, and we can hold our heads high when we get out of there and not get killed by 40. Then we go and then we play Bethel Cook in Nevada at home. Both games Bethel Cook should be a win. I don't see why they shouldn't lose that. Then you get Nevada. Nevada's not as good as they have been. That's a team that they could beat. Then you definitely can beat Florida Atlantic. Then you got Cincinnati and Memphis back-to-back on the road. So let's say those two are losses. So let's say they're 3-3 after 6 games. Then you play Temple, East Carolina, and Notre Dame. If you can win the first two, and if you can beat Temple and Notre Dame, or Temple and East Carolina, beat Temple and East Carolina,
and that's
you're
Navy.
5-3.
That's Navy that you're looking at, not Notre Dame.
And then you go, yeah. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
That's okay. No, that's okay.
Then you can so Navy's a loss. So now you're 5-4. You need one win in the last 3 games to make a bowl. So UCF probably can't beat them. Houston is possibly a winnable game if you do everything right during the offseason. What's that?
Tulsa is a winnable game.
And then Tulsa is definitely a winnable game.
Yeah.
Definitely a winnable game. And so then you're 6-6. You got a bowl game coming up. You're actually, this schedule is not that daunting, if you ask me. It's a very winnable schedule, and then that's a great, you have a great chance to do some nice things. And then if you look at 2021 going in, 2 years from now, as you're building the program, NC State, that's a potentially, if everything shakes out well in 2020, you can recruit better. You can say, hey, we're a building program. We're better than we were before. So let's say they win. Let's say they beat NC State and take care of business. Beat NC State on the road. It's a big game, a big signature win for the program. Then you play Florida. You get stomped by Florida. Okay, that's whatever. You take that loss on the chin and you just move on. Then you beat Florida A&M. You beat BYU, you beat East Carolina, you beat Tulane, then you might have a chance to beat USF or UCF.
Mm-hmm.
You might, and we're looking 2 years down the road. We don't know where Cincinnati's going to be at. That could be a winnable game. Houston could be a winnable game. Temple could be a winnable game. Tulsa could be a winnable game. And
those are all at home.
And then you go on the road and it's not out of the realm of possibilities that you could be a 10-2 program in 2 years. If you do everything right, if you recruit well and you play hard and you get a good head coach that can build, that can elevate the players from 3-star to 4-star and 4-star to 5-star and 5-star to NFL talent, from where you are now to where you want to be at the end of 2021 is not scarily unreachable. It's not like being Eastern Michigan or Western Kentucky. It's not so far away that it's like unreachable. It's all about doing the right things, building the program back, getting some talent. You don't have to have all the talent. You don't have to be on the levels of Florida and Alabama and Georgia, to compete in the conference. And that's the thing is competing in the conference. If you compete in the conference, you're going to draw eyeballs from the rest of the kids in the that go to the conference schools, like the Tulane kids, the kids that are around Tulane, the kids that are around SMU, the kids that are around Cincinnati. You got big things. Like Cincinnati, you might be able to steal a recruit or two out of Cincinnati, Memphis. It's not in Temple. Where is Temple? Maryland? Is Temple in Maryland?
Temple, the Owls are in Philadelphia. They play in Philadelphia, PA.
No, and that's not a place that necessarily would be hard to recruit a 3 or 4-star recruit for that might that doesn't have an offer from Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
recruiting around Syracuse. You know, and being able to say, you know, you need a win or two to hang your hat on in the next year or two to be able to say, you know, look, you know, it's been a struggle for the last couple of years, but, and just like Michigan, you know, Michigan gets a couple of big wins against Iowa and Notre Dame and Michigan State, and, you know, and we can go, okay, look, we didn't beat Ohio State, we lost to Wisconsin, we lost to Penn State, but we also won these games. Then we go to win our play, and then we go play our bowl game, we can win our bowl game, and we can go, okay, we're not where we want to be, but with your help, with your skills, with your talent, we can be where we want to be. And I think that's the big thing about college football as opposed to pro football. And this goes back to something that I always harp on. It's not easy being a GM. It's not simply like Madden where you can just go and push all the money at somebody and say, here, come play for me. It's so much harder than that because, you know, like, if you have a player who has been in a place for years or has a chance to play in his hometown, like Mike Modano got a chance to come and play in Detroit for a year after playing in Dallas for so many years. And that was a dream come true for him. You know, and so it's not just a simple matter of here's money, come play for us. It's about, you know, it's the city and it's the nightlife and it's all the things that are there to do, and it's the schools, you know, especially, you know, a lot of athletes have kids that, you know, they're getting, you know, they're starting to grow up and they're needing, you know, to go to school somewhere, and they've got other family concerns and, you know, where their mom and dad are, and, you know, and maybe they're getting up there in years and they want to stay closer to home, and it's all these other things that you have going into it that's so much more than just, you know, we can sit here and say, well, why didn't they go get that guy, or why didn't they talk to that guy? You know, why didn't they at least, you know, because he said his agent sent him an email that said, I have no interest, don't even bother. You know, it's not just as easy as 1, 2, 3, buckle my shoe and voila, you're on my team now.
Right. Correct. I mean, you know, I'm super thrilled about the 2021 season, being that I'm a Gator fan and a Bulls fan.
Right.
And it's funny, I was just looking at the schedule. I didn't know that game happens to fall on September 11th.
Interesting.
So the Saturday that week, I'm assuming that game will be middle afternoon, maybe a night game. I do know this, that when I go to Raymond James Stadium, and I'm hoping that I'm a press writer for them then that season, that there's going to be a lot of blue and orange. They'll make the trip down from Gainesville. It's probably about a 3.5 hour drive from here. So, you know, they'll make the trip down. You know what would be cool is if somehow, some way, the Gators are like coming off the 2020 season next year. Maybe they're a playoff team and they have college game day here. That would be awesome.
Well, that would be neat.
They have college game day here for that game. But you know, you know, it's going to be interesting, you know, moving forward with they do have a winnable schedule. They always play UCF on Black Friday. Next year it's at Raymond James Stadium. So that'll be I was looking at the schedule. That'll be a game that I definitely want to go to because I didn't get to go to a couple of years ago due to work conflictions. But I definitely would want to go to that game, you know, next year in 2020. But they'll play them on Black Friday. They always do. That's right before, you know, the whole rivalry weekend with you guys and Florida State and so on and so forth. But we have Bethune-Cookman and Nevada at home back-to-back weeks. We should win both of those football games. FAU, you know, going down to Boca, that's about a 3-4 hour drive from here, from Tampa. That should be no problem. And, you know, Memphis has been the cream of the crop, as I said in my articles I wrote about them. So, I don't even know how well Navy will be next season. I mean, I'm going to be watching the game this Saturday because, it's Army-Navy, as I always do. I won't miss that game. But, I mean, yeah, it definitely can be turned around. It's just USF has to put the right people in place to make that happen. That's going to be the interesting part, is who they make as the head coach. We'll just have to sit back and watch and wait, is all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, Army-Navy's next Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, it's the 14th, not the 7th?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's next
right.
Saturday. Yep.
That's right, because there's two local Tampa guys that are going to the game. So yes, that's next
cool.
Saturday. Good. I'll get to watch it because I'm going to be busy this Saturday. So that's good. I'll get a chance to watch it because I don't ever miss that football game unless I'm super busy or working. I don't ever miss the Army Navy. I don't ever miss the Army Navy game. I still think that even though there are so many great rivalries, including Michigan, Ohio State, I just don't think there's one better than that one because, again, it's the military fighting each other. So it's odd to say that, but I just think Army-Navy, has to be up there with all the rivalries and all of college football. It's got to be up there near the top with those two schools. So, but I'll be watching. I'll be watching.
I'll definitely be tuning in. Go Army, beat Navy.
Well, Army won last year, right? Army's won the last few
Correct.
years.
Yeah, I think they've won 2 in a row, but I don't think they're going to win 3 in a row.
Too well, and then 2 years ago they were in the snow. That was so fun to watch.
That was a whale of a ball game.
At Lincoln Financial Field. Yeah, that was a fun game to watch. That was a fun game to watch. So yeah, go ahead.
Even as an Army fan, my heart broke a little bit for that Navy kicker.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. He missed the field goal.
Yep.
He missed the field goal. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I was rooting for Army and I've been an Army fan my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a game. It really is. It's fun to watch because a lot of those kids
and that's one thing where it's like it is just a game,
Yep.
Because those guys when they're done with football, their real life starts.
That's correct.
They're to not to be a down, not as a downer kind of thing, but do you have that perspective of we sit here and we give each other crap as Michigan, Florida fans, and we get a chippy and we but that game could be that game if something were to happen and then and that game were to be stopped, those guys don't if something bad were to happen, let's say like you were talking about Florida and Florida State were on 9/11 coming up or Florida USF coming up in a couple of years, and if something were like a 9/11 were to happen during the middle of that game, the game is over. They're done. Their football careers are over, and they're why they went to those schools really matters. What they're doing means so much more than anything that any of our other favorite athletes could ever hope to. And kind of a fun side note. I don't know if you remember the name. Kind of gotta be a Michigan fan probably to know the name, but Noah Furbush was a linebacker for a couple years at Michigan.
I've heard the name.
He received his commission in the Marine Corps as a second lieutenant on Saturday at the game.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Nice.
And to think about the fact and think about the fact that when that game's over, they go back to work to do things that really matter. To make it so that we can enjoy sitting here talking about football and the other things that we enjoy.
Well, and here's the odd thing about our 4 branches that we have of our military. Army, Air Force, Navy have football teams. The Marines don't. And I'm surprised. because I don't even know what the Marine Corps football team will look like.